স্যার একটা জিনিস বলো, এই সফটওয়্যারটা ছাড়া কি ইউটিউবে লাইভ করা যায় না?
This is OBS. You can use whatever software you want. Okay.
না না, উইদাউট এনি সফটওয়্যার বলছি।
You do need one software to stream. Okay.
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, আমার কাছে নোটিফিকেশন পেয়ে গেল তুমি লাইভ আছো।
Okay. So yeah, we are live right now, and uh, okay, this is not required. Hmm. So last day, Niket asked a very good question regarding how actually the IP addresses get assigned to our local network, right? You remember your own question, right?
হুম হুম।
Okay. So this is a chart which I made that will explain how it actually works. Okay. This is simplified because real world scenarios might be a little bit different, but again, uh, of course, like we are currently at the class 11, 12, like high school level. So that is what we can work with. Okay.
How
So
did you make this chat?
this is made in Mermaid. Okay. Mermaid is basically a markdown language which creates flowcharts and graphs and diagrams like this. Okay.
Just like LaTeX.
No, this is not LaTeX. It is Mermaid. It is, see, it is flowchart
No, no,
TD.
I'm saying just
Then
like LaTeX.
it is, it
You
is
made it
like,
like LaTeX.
no, it is Markdown. It is a Markdown language. So Markdown language are those languages that you might have seen in your GitHub repo. You were creating your own like personalized page right there. So here
Yeah.
you might want to see it. So today we shall be doing all this. I was just making the things for us. So this was the question you asked, and writing here like this kind of syntax where you use has to have different height lengths, or let's say headings. Okay. So if I just go and view it basically, so you can see that this is how it gets viewed, or like a preview of it will be like this. It is very simple to use, and basically this can be used to jot down quick notes, and in this kind of markdown languages we basically use it to represent different overview over of, let's say, repositories. It's a very standard practice. We use it for GitHub and stuff. So if you just go to github.com and maybe use your own repository, or just select your own profile. As you can see, this is my profile, and all these things that you are seeing that has been shown in such a like beautiful diagram wise way. So this can be easily viewed using your markdown. Okay. So use it to create your own repositories and create, like, write about your own repository. Suppose here, I started writing it, but I never like gone back to like writing it after that. But so yeah, this all these things are written in Markdown. Okay. And if I were to show you some other things where I have written, so this is one more like code that I wrote. Yeah. Okay. Network issues, Yutika?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just explaining Markdown, so there's nothing to lose at this point. So this language is basically used to jot down notes, or let's say instructions for how to use your repos. That's it. That's where it ends. Now, going back to the question that you asked. So if we just go here, so first, as soon as you turn on your Wi-Fi, then what happens? The device sends a DHCP. What is a DHCP? Remember last I told you about the dynamic allocation of this what do you call this addresses. Like basically the IP address gets dynamically allocated to your devices. Okay, I actually kind of forgot the full form of DHCP. Just give me a second. So it basically means dynamic host configuration protocol. So basically it calls the protocol, okay, and then it basically sends a request. The Wi-Fi sends a request that the Wi-Fi will do a broadcast, okay, and you know what is the difference between broadcast, multicast, and all this? Let's go into that a little bit. Like we shall be going deeper onto that. So, what broadcast, multicast, and unicast? We need a good diagram for this. See, this is a good diagram. Let it load. My wife. I okay. I think that's the max resolution we can get. Sorry for okay. This is not giving me a good resolution.
Bad
Uh,
quality also.
let's see if I have a okay. This is a good quality one.
A nice
Let's open.
quality.
Yes. So see this. So what is a unicast? Unicast basically means simple to what peer-to-peer network it is. Okay. So from one device node, you basically transmit information to a selected device node only. Okay. It's very simple to understand. There's nothing more to it. But as soon as you go to broadcast, what happens that suppose one device node on a network, it is sending out information to all the device nodes on that particular network itself. Okay, there is no selection. Like currently what I'm doing broadcasting. Okay, how am I doing broadcasting? I'm broadcasting to every other person on the YouTube. Right, I'm streaming this whole session on YouTube. How am I doing it? I'm doing it through different like stream key and all this. There's different layers that goes into that. Don't need to worry about that. But basically, anyone on YouTube can actually see my broadcasting or can actually see my streaming. Right? You get it? Anything?
Yeah.
Any questions? Dutika? Fine? अरे हाँ ना तो बोल दो.
हाँ.
ठीक है. तो उसके बाद देखो मल्टीकास्ट. व्हाट इज मल्टीकास्ट? बेसिकली it works to specific users, like it transmits information to specific users on the network. Okay, in this particular say that we are transmitting information to class D addresses. Okay, now what is anycast? Anycast is again one to any. Okay, this is not supported by IPv4 addressing system. So any means basically anyone who
So why it
might.
is not supported?
Why it is not supported? It's that's an like it is not supported. It is just a protocol. The protocol is quite old, and one to any kind of unicast you will find it on like you know that internet rooms, IRCs rooms. Okay, basically what happens that you set up a like channel, you set up a room. Okay, a room where anyone can enter. You get it? So in broadcast, there is a difference between broadcast and anycast. Broadcast basically means you are broadcasting to everyone. Let's say on YouTube, like what happens is on YouTube platform. Oh, by the way, that's a good point. I should actually post a link of this. Give me a second. I should just share the stream. Okay, so
Are you at your home?
oh, you can hear the background voices of the dogs, right? These are basically the Aizar
Yeah,
Kolkata
yeah.
dogs. Just I can't
Oh,
do
acha,
anything
acha.
about them.
So they are
Whatever.
also
So
scientists, dog scientists.
they are here without passing the IAT exam. So that's the thing. Even the issue is
Yeah,
that if I
that's
lower
good.
my microphone sensitivity, the voice might low. The voices of the dogs might be lowered, but then again, my own voice might not be that good. But whatever. So what are we doing? We the difference between a broadcast and anycast. So broadcast is like you can broadcast to anyone on the network. Say this YouTube stream. Okay, in this YouTube stream, anyone who is on YouTube can actually see the broadcast, right? He or she may or may not like basically want to see the broadcast because there are multiple broadcasts going on. There are multiple channels doing live streaming right now, but they can view it. So what is anycast? Anycast basically means suppose someone who is, let's say, not from the internet. Okay, they might be watching the stream from another network. So what do I mean by another network? Let's say they might be from another, let's say, IP addressing system. They might have their own private network. Okay, they also can join it, even though like currently only YouTube people are joining. Okay, like that is not supported by YouTube, first of all. Okay, Anycast is very like a case which is on open internet rooms. If
So
you
what is the
ever
difference between broadcast and multicast? Multicast.
multicast means you select a specific set of people who can watch your video. Okay, suppose only you are
Oh,
broadcasting to the
okay.
people who have subscribed to your channel, okay, on the network. So if you have subscribed, they will see it. If you have not, they will not. That kind of thing. Okay.
So it is like a
So
semi-permeable membrane. It only allows some people.
yeah, see here what we are saying. It is one to many. Okay, it is one to many. Get it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So after that, let's after we have discussed the broadcasting and everything, now what happens? The device actually sends a request that I want to do I want to set up myself as a broadcasting. Okay, so in this way, you basically assign a IP address. How do you assign this? Then okay, this thing, if it fails, so if it succeeds, then what happens? The router receives the discover. So discover basically means it the Wi-Fi device, the router. Sorry, not the router, the Wi-Fi device here. As soon as you turn it on, it basically goes to your ISP and says,
So the
"Hey,
router is the Wi-Fi device, right?
uh, yes, it is the Wi-Fi device, but what happens? Your ISP is, let's say, Geo, or let's say BSNL, or maybe whatever company that you are using.
Alliance,
So
Alliance.
Alliance, okay, whatever company you might be using, it
Oh, you are
basically
doing free promotion for them.
no, I'm not doing it. Okay, whatever. So they say that, hey, can anyone give me an IP address? Okay. So as soon as you turn it on, like it asks to the basically this kind of DHCP discover broadcast that, hey, can anyone give me an IP address? And as soon as that kind of request goes on, then it receives like basically if the router responds like acting as a DHCP server, that yes, I can get an IP address, and say it replies to me with an IP address of something like this. Okay, 192.168.1.10. So this kind of IP address router sends to the DHCP offer with a private IP like this. Okay, it offers a private IP. Get it? And then what happens? The DHCP
Yeah.
sends the device sends the DHCP request to confirm this offer, that will you accept this private IP to be discoverable over the network. Then it basically say the router sends the ask and assigns the IP. Basically, if it confirms, if it's true, then now it can talk to other
Now, on
devices
what
in your
conditions
network.
does it prove or reject the offer?
Basically, if it's an invalid IP address, or most of the time, this kind of allocation depends on various laws in your country as well. Okay. Do you know that? Okay. Let me tell you one thing. If you are on the internet, never reveal your IP address. Okay. Why? Because using those IP address, people can target your particular device, people can get your location or get an approximate location to the nearest data center like to you, and then they can ping all the devices which are connected on the data server, and basically they can discover you on the network, on the grid. And if they discover you on the internet, you are basically doing a public so that, hey, I am here, if you want to hack me, you can hack me, kind of a way. So basically, all those things if needs to be prevented so that they don't happen. A lot of regulations are in place that restricts the IP address that can be assigned to you. And if all those checks up, then only the DHCP basically kind of allows all this. Okay, it checks up that all these things are fine. Then it sends to the request and it gets accepted, and that's it. That's how it goes.
So how does the router send the query? Like on what basis it generates the IP and send the query to the DHCP?
On what basis it generates the IP? Um,
Yeah, yeah. say you have given some examples. So this IP should be like offered to DHCP, and if it approves, then it will work. Otherwise, it will not. So on what basis does the router make the IP address and send to DHCP, or generates the IP address and send to DHCP to confirm the request or decline?
Okay, that's a the okay that thing I just said now. Basically, you have different laws.
No,
Okay,
is it just a random thing?
no, no, it is not a random thing.
No, no,
But
based on the law, no, no, based on the law, the DHCP approves or rejects.
Yes, no, it has to perfectly
No, no,
match all the laws. Okay, listen, listen. It has to perfectly match all the laws. Then there are different net neutrality laws and all this, or whatever. There are different laws that you can assign any IP address between this to this. Okay. Then as soon as you give a request, you send basically one request that okay, this is my address. Will this get permitted? And then basically this DHCP makes those addresses to the basically the device. Since DHCP discover that this device sends a broadcast message saying like can any DHCP server give me an IP address. So it's more like you're asking Google that Google, can you give me a name, can you give my child a name, that kind of a thing. Okay, so then the router replies with the DHCP offer that seeing the offer, your Wi-Fi router can receive this message and replies that use this particular IP address for a while. Okay. So then it assigns one particular IP address to your device. Okay. And then what happens? The device, maybe your phone, maybe your whatever be it on your network. I'm currently taking the router as an example. Then the particular device responds that, okay, I will use this for an IP address. That's how this thing goes. Okay. Then again, the router says that, okay, fine, that I will use this IP address and assigns the IP address like officially. Okay. Now, all this kind of assignment
got
and the
it.
generation of the IP address is based on, suppose you are in India, right? So you cannot create an IP address that will belong to geographically Japan or geographically, let's say, USA. You cannot do that. That kind of thing can only be done when you are using a VPN. And how VPN works, we can actually discuss more on it. But it basically creates more and more nodes on your network, which say that I am from Afghanistan, I am from, let's say, UAE, I am from, let's say, Africa, I am from, let's say, Australia, and all this kind of thing. Okay. And they generate different IP addresses and they ping those servers, nearest server in those regions, and they basically send the data packets to different regions back to you. That's why you will see that while using a VPN, your network speeds are quite slow. That's the thing. But yeah, this is how it works. But suppose this request actually fails if the DHCP never responds to your IP. Suppose you give an IP address, maybe it is not validating or it is not basically accepted. Then basically what happens? The device assigns a linked local IP like 169.254 kuch .x.x, matlab basically something XX or something, some random number. Okay, between 0 to 1, 255. Then it basically uses the fallbacks. Basically, it gives you only a limited local network access only. Okay. Do you get it? And if no IP from ISP, then the router retries again and again to use a previously accepted IP. Okay. And then if it is still not accepting any of the IPs, then you will basically not be able to connect to the internet. Okay. You will have a local network, but you will not be able to connect to an internet. That's how it works. Then the ISP server basically replies. The ISP means the internet service provider replies with the DHCP offer with a public IP. So currently, up till now, we were just discussing this is a private IP. Okay, but to access the internet, you need a public IP, and this public IP needs to basically check out all the laws and everything. Okay, and the router sends the DHCP request for the offered IP, and then again so this goes back and forth. This kind of handshaking goes on. ISP send the DHCP ACK. Basically what do I mean by this?
What is SEK?
Give me a second. I actually forgot the full form of it. Give me a second. It's just a second.
Smart sheet.
Yeah, like I don't remember all this kind of full form. What happened? Oh, just a second. Yeah, this is the ACK packets in Wireshark. So there are different, I can check it out. Just a second. A lot of things on the internet are being run by Cloudflare. So yeah, this is thing. Message type ACK. ACK is what I actually forgot. Just a second. Remember. Acknowledgement. Okay. This is basically acknowledgement message that everything is fine. So this is a ResearchGate picture. As you can see here, what is happening? Your client, this is an IP address, this is a private IP address. Okay. Next, the server IP address. This is the server IP address. Then the relay agent IP address is like a simple, like self-referential IP address is 0000. Okay. Then it gets the MAC address. MAC address basically means the media access control address. It identifies the exact device on the network. Okay. And from there, you will see that DHCP message type ACK. It basically acknowledges that, okay, everything is fine. DHCP identified, then it just checks out everything. So that's how it goes. Okay.
So
Fine.
how many IPs do we have?
How many IPs do we have means?
No, we have only one IP, right? Each device.
No, it's not exactly one IP. You will have a private IP. Okay, that is on your network. You are also going to have
Okay.
virtual IP address. Okay, there is something. A internet IP, a public IP address. Okay, and that public IP address can be static, can be dynamic as well. That is based on whatever
So
device
how
or
many IP address do we have? Each?
uh, you will have different like levels of IP addressing. One will be a private network, but one will be a private IP, one will be your public IP. Okay, that all I can just
So
tell you right now.
what is the use of the private IP?
Private IP means suppose on your intranet, basically the Wi-Fi router can create private IP. Let's say your mobile is a has a private IP. Your computer will have a private IP. Okay, and basically you can
Yeah,
ping
yeah.
your computer using your mobile. You will check. You can check out your private IP using different like tools on your Linux system. I shall tell you about them in today's class only. Okay,
Okay,
basically
no. So tell me one thing. What is the function of the public IP?
public IP basically gives you a address on the internet. Internet में who are you? Okay, who are you on the
আচ্ছা
internet?
ইন্টারনেটে মানে তার মানে ইন্টারনেটে আমার প্রাইভেট আইপিটা দেখাবে না
No, it will no private IP is basically to your local network. Even if it shows you private IPs are going to be the same for me if I have a Wi-Fi and if I have that many devices. Okay, it basically will not work if I want to connect to your network from outside without ever being inside your network. Okay, so private IP will not make sense if I'm not inside your network. Get it?
ওটা না বুঝলাম না কি বললে বাইরে থেকে ভেতর থেকে
So basically, you have a closed network, means your Wi-Fi device, and
হ্যাঁ
let's say your mobile, your mother's
ইয়া
mobile. Okay, I'm from outside.
ওকে
Outside means I might be physically like there sitting beside you, but I won't have
ইয়া
access to
ইয়া
your network. Okay, if I don't have
ওকে
access to your network, basically what happens? I can't send any request to your private IP. Even if I have your private IP, I cannot connect to it because I'm not a node inside your local network, right?
আচ্ছা
So
ওকে
since I'm not a node, means I'm not connected to your Wi-Fi. I can't use your private IP even if I have it. But suppose you're using that private IP to browse something on the internet. Okay. So what happens if you are on the internet and you have your public IP? Then I can use the public IP to target you specifically. Okay.
তুমি আমার প্রাইভেট আইপি নিয়ে কি করতে পারো
I can't do anything unless and until I am inside your private network. I can't do anything with your private
লেটস সে
IP.
ইউ আর ইনসাইড মাই প্রাইভেট নেটওয়ার্ক
then I can basically I can access all the devices by launching different malicious attacks on it. Okay, it can be done.
Okay.
So never, please never release your public IP. Okay, this is just a sample public IP. Might be someone using it.
এই জায়গাটা চাপিয়ে আছে আইপিটা
Yeah, like I can give you one example. A very good example will be let's say Google. Okay, let's say Google. We can actually check its public IP here. Okay, so I can just ping google.com. So let me stop it. This IP address. Okay, this is the IP address. Now, if I just copy it and let's say
আরে
put
স্যার
it
তুমি
on,
লাইভে আছো
yeah.
স্যার ইউ আর লাইভ
So what? This is the IP address of Google. See?
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা গট ইট
Do you get it? Like if I just again, I'm just pasting it. Okay, this is the IP address of Google. Now,
ওকে
do you understand how it basically, if you everything on the internet has a IP address, and if you are able to know the IP address, you can visit that website. Okay, suppose I change
no no tell
206
me
to
one thing wait
207.
no no what
Oh,
does my
this is also
public
Google.
IP do tell me one thing what does my public IP do what
It
is
will
the function
basically
of the public IP
suppose okay, that will basically make your device visible to all the other devices on the internet. Okay, a simple will be you are one path, you are a node in the network, right? So you will have an address that is responsible to that node, or let's say that is pointing towards that node, and that address, if it gets leaked, anyone can target you and specifically send different, let's say, data packets, or they can try to intercept what you are trying to send. Okay, now Google has a
okay got it now tell me
now
what does my
hmm,
private IP do
your private IP basically connects you to the private network, and private network means your Wi-Fi
okay
intranet wala. Okay.
and what do you know my mobile network that I have Geo is it also connected by my private IP
Yeah, no, basically your geo network, okay, SIM cards basically they create IP address. Basically, how it works is similar to what we have done. Okay, let me show you. Yeah, instead of let's say here router, you basically will have you will be pinging your like subscriber ISP. Okay, the SIM card will basically kind of work as a router. Okay, but it will just give one IP address to your own device. Okay, or it might not even give it. I think that SIM cards are very much optimized to directly connect to the ISP, and the ISP
okay
will
okay
give
now
it
got
a
it got
public IP, and in that public IP, you will directly just use that public IP to search internet and stuff. Okay.
okay
I have a
continue
question.
continue
Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, like you said, not to release the IP address on the internet or something, but the hacker can choose any random IP address.
Yes, yes, actually true. Hackers sometimes do choose some random IP addresses, and they try to basically, this is brute force attack. Basically, they pick out a lot of IP addresses, and they again, like one by one, they send malicious packets and stuff, and check that if some of those IP addresses will respond, and if they respond, then basically it's a pathway of or a backdoor to hack. Okay, a lot of people keep on doing this, and basically sometimes they find some open doors, and sometimes they won't. And that's why we have different kind of firewalls. A lot of like browsers that you use protect you from different kinds of hackers and all this. You have different kind of, let's say, normal at a very base level protections against all these kind of like attacks towards your IP addresses. But again, they do happen almost every day. A lot of websites do get hacked almost every day. So it is it is what it is. It's a cyber warfare. Everything
Okay.
every day it is going on. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Now then let's move to OSI and OSI model. So this is that one. Yeah. Give me a second. I think this will view good in this. Yeah. Sorry for it being like so bright suddenly. So this is the OSI model. Last day we try to remember the OSI model using a simple mnemonic. Do you remember that mnemonic? Do you remember that mnemonic that we were using?
Please do not throw sauce pizza away.
Yes, good. Hey, Niket, what about you? You should be remembering it.
না স্যার মনে নেই।
Okay. See, please is the like basically base layer, which is the physical layer. Then do basically means the data link layer. Not means N, network layer. T means transport layer. S means session layer. P means presentation layer. A means application layer. Now these are the 7 layers of the OSI model, starting from the rightmost being the like more physical, let's say hardware level more like layer, to going to the leftmost being the most abstracted layer. Okay. Now, this is the 7-layer OSI model. What is the TCP IP model? TCP IP model basically gives us a 4-layer model. Okay. This Acha, okay. What do I mean by IP?
No,
IP
no,
basically
please
means,
explain.
yeah.
Explain the only the middle layer of OSI.
Explain what?
Explain only the middle layer of the most important layer of the OSI, the middle layer. That part is only my problem. Otherwise, we have explained the OSI model yesterday, last
Oh, the
class.
transport layer, like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay, okay, that one. Give me some time. I'm just having the two models compare, or I think we can actually discuss more about it. Uh, Give me a second. OSI model. And just take one, put enough representation. Do you remember last day which representation? I think I found a good one on the internet, but then I never saved it. I think we can use the Geek for Geeks one. Yeah, let's use this one. So let's go one by one again. Okay, we can go through all of them, or we can just use this one. So what do we have? At the base, we have the physical layer, which basically encodes all the signals, and it will basically directly talk to your hardware, means your JSON-L file or everything. Okay. So if we just go to the physical layer here, it will just take the whatever information that you get, and it will display it, it will store it, whatever be the function that the information tells you to do. Okay. Now, as you can see that there are different layers on this data link layer, basically does the linking of different, let's say, like in your network, suppose that information has come to your network. Now it needs to go to your perfect location. Perfect location means like on your screen, the information needs to be visualized. So the information has come to your phone, but now it needs to be interpreted to the given to the screen. So this data link will say that, okay, it will basically go to the screen and all this. Okay. And this is a network layer. Basically, it handles the routing of the information package that comes to your network. So in the network, so like let's say in your public IP, so you want to watch a YouTube video. So the YouTube video will send a packet to you on your public IP itself. Okay. So that kind of routing, the path that it should take has to be handled by the network layer. And this is the basically transport layer, means it will take the request that you do. It will basically take the request and it will add information that, okay, where everything should be, where everything, where the information should go. Okay, it will add information to it and then reassemble it. Okay. And these are the session layer and
How
application
does
layer.
it reassemble?
Yeah, give me a second. Give me a second. We are going to discuss it here itself. You will see a good example here. Because in application layer, what examples we can give are the HTTP. Okay. HTTP basically means your what they call this? Hypertext protocol. What's the T? Wow. I am forgetting the full form of HTTP. Yes. Hypertext transfer protocol. So you remember that if I just go to any website, like here itself, um, you will see this HTTPS basically means hypertext transfer protocol secure. Okay, so S basically means it's a secure protocol. And again, there are actually different versions of HTTP. Like if I go here, mm,
So
these are
what command did
different.
you use?
Huh? This is just the inspect.
What command did you use?
This is inspect,
How do you
inspect. No,
inspect?
no command,
I
no
forgot.
command. You
How
just
do
go
you
right
how
click
do you
here and just go to
right click?
inspect.
Okay.
Okay,
Acha, acha.
that's how you go here. Then you go to
Acha,
uh
tell me one thing. এই যে তুমি বলে রাইট ক্লিক এই আর্কটিক ফক্সের মাউসে একটা অপশন আছে ডেস্কটপে ডাইরেক্ট চলে যায় ওটা আমার লিনাক্সে কাজ করবে?
might or might not actually. Good point. That might not. Okay. Please do check it up if it works on Linux. It's difficult to check it up, but if there are drivers, particular specific
ঠিক আছে
drivers
জোগাড়
made for
করেছে
your
আর্কটিক ফক্সের মাউস।
if there are specific drivers, they might not actually work as you plan. Okay. So whatever. See
মাউসে
this.
এফেক্ট দেখে।
Yeah, I know. See, there are different methods. This is a post method. Okay. What do I mean by there are two basically methods, post and get. Post method means the browser or let's say the whatever the server that you pinged, it is giving you the information. And this is the information that it gives you. Okay. You can see like how much information it's in 6.8 kilobytes. Okay, this is the accept, then again this encoding that is it's using. Okay, request headers, these are all your request
So what
headers.
does the HTTP do?
It's a protocol, like it's basically a language between your between the request that you do and the request that they and response that they send. Okay, the request you do is through the get method and the response that they do is through the what do you call this, post method. Okay, now these are what, these are actually I'm just showing that this is blocked by uBlock origin. These are actually different kind of ads that are getting blocked. Okay, like how they get initiated, and basically these you can see this is the host is play.google.com. That means someone was trying to give me some kind of advertisement, and basically it's Google that's trying to give me an advertisement. And this uBlock origin, this is a plugin that I use, it blocked that kind of request. Okay, now you might actually go and see this is what, these are all the requests. If I go to the HTML, I need to just refresh the network a bit. So yeah, this is the HTML request and this is the get request. Okay, okay, let me show you how
আচ্ছা
URLs work. So see this. This is the search bar,
ও
right?
তুমি তো
This is
পুরো
the
এটা পুরো
search.
থিওরি থেকে পুরো প্র্যাকটিক্যাল করে দিচ্ছ।
Yeah. So in the search bar, you will see that www means world wide web dot google.com. That's the,
ওয়ার্ল্ড ওয়েব।
yeah, that's actually the domain name. Okay. And there is something called DNS.
এখানে
Okay.
ডোমেইন ঢুকিও না প্লিজ, ইট ইজ মেকিং মি হেল আউট অফ ম্যাথস।
Okay. So I can't do anything about that. So there is something called domain name
রিয়েলি
system. Okay. Let's keep us on the track. Okay, there is something called DNS. This is called domain name system. Yeah. What happens? So remember the Google IP address that I used. The IP address I used was this
ভুলে
one,
গেছি,
right?
অত ফটোগ্রাফি মেমোরি নেই।
So this is the IP address I used. And then suddenly, as soon as I give the IP address, the name changes to www.google.com/1/. Is ready for the next file, whatever. So
Means every IP address has its own like URL.
yes, and kind of no. So basically, what happens? See,
So what does this
you
search question mark do?
wait. What is your name? Your name is Niket, right? You also have other names. Like, what are your other names given by your parents?
কি নাম? গুড্ডু বলো।
Guddu. Okay.
যাই হোক।
Okay, Guddu Niket. But I'm referring to the same person, right? Suppose you have a DNA and I'm referring to your DNA. Okay. So if I have to refer to your DNA, I can use Guddu or I can use Niket Basu, right? I can use any of these two names.
Okay.
But your DNA will still remain the same. So DNA basically represents your IP address, and whatever name you assign to it is the domain name. Now it might happen that Google, so Have you seen that what I'm typing? I can write Google dot, instead of dot com, I might write dot co, not com. Okay. Then if I just do enter, it will redirect to google.com. Okay. Do you get it?
Acha.
Means Google has purchased multiple domain names, and you can actually purchase your own domain names through website like Namecheap. This is a website where you can buy a domain name. Okay. So suppose you want to buy your own domain name, say Niket Basu. Okay.
ए सब
You
ठीक
are-
होচ্ছে যাবো
so
পয়সা
you need
নেই
to buy your domains. So suppose you want to buy
উফ
uh
ড্যাম ড্যাম
so you need to,
উফ
if you
কত
want to
কি
buy
চলে এসছে
something like niketbasu.it.com, then you have to pay like 400 and say 430 rupees per year. Okay. Then you can get this domain name. So now it will
আচ্ছা
basically do what? It will assign a particular IP address to this domain name. Okay.
ওকে
This is how DNS servers work. Now, DNS servers can be given by Cloudflare. You can use
like
your own
DNS
DNS
servers
server.
assigns the name DNS servers assign the name
They basically have a dictionary of IP addresses
আচ্ছা
and a
আচ্ছা
basically key value pair. Okay. So the
oh
key is it's
the
not a,
IP
it's some
and the value is the and the huh?
values can be like
the key
google.com, google.co.in ऐसा कुछ
yeah
समझ
yeah
ले. Okay.
dictionary okay
Now, okay, if that is clear, now we can go into what we were going to discuss. Yeah, okay, यहाँ पे और कुछ डिस्कस करना था. So यहाँ पे देखो, google.com के बाद क्या है? Search. Okay,
so what does
basically
the www dot do what does the www dot do
it shows that this is a part of the World Wide Web. So do you think there are other
and what does the
webs?
double slash do no I
Oh,
don't think
this,
yeah dark web is there
yeah, that way, good. There are different onions, like onion websites are there. Okay. So if you want to go into the dark web, you basically need to ditch the www and you need to go into onion. Okay. I'm not going to say how it works or how to do it. You can do it by
or
searching on
we
Google
will get a
itself.
ban
No, I'm not
we
going
get a
to get
ban
a
in
ban.
YouTube
I don't
তাহলে
know. I might. So let's not discuss it. See, I don't know exactly
ঠিক আছে
the policies that Google have on dark web. I have to check it, but whatever. See, now this is what HTTPS, right? So after this HTTPS, it needs to differentiate between the address. So it uses this colon slash slash. Okay. Then it
okay
starts with
okay
the particular World Wide Web, and then it goes to the
okay
domain name, and it
yeah
is
yeah
using the
yeah
.com. .com basically means I think there is a particular term that they use for this identifiers. I have to check it. Basically, .co.in means what? .company. .in means India. .com means commercial. Okay.
okay
They're different. .edu means educational. .gov means
okay okay
government
okay
and all this.
so please continue
Then after that, we have what? We have search. So this basically says that to search, this is a query, and the client is a
the next part
Firefox.
is the query oh it's a
Yes,
client
but the
Firefox okay
client is a Firefox. Okay, the client is a Firefox web browser. Okay, then what channel
okay
should I use? So this channel is an ENTP basically means I think like what why is I enterprise? No, I forgot. I need to check it. What's the channel? Let me just go outside. I'm going to search this here itself. I think this channel is an encryption channel or something. I don't know. ENTP stands for no. In Google URL, let's say. It is a AdSense, yeah. I think they use some kind of adding your in the no. Let's see. It's something that Google adds. Like Google will add it for you. URL channel tracking.
like ad means advertisement right
Probably it is related to some kind of advertisement or something. I exactly don't know it. Google URL search. Google search URL. At this point, I'm going to use basically ChatGPT to get the answer. Just a second. Yeah, this thing. q equals to channel is the search parameter. That is fine. This is encoded as channel slash, okay, 3D will search for the phrase. Okay, so okay, if you want to search with a specific site, YouTube, you can do basically channel slash, oh, this is this, you can add this thing site. So suppose I want to go back to my this URL and I go to the simple query one. Where is the simple query? Here, no, not here. Yeah. So if I just add this here, oh no, I did not add it properly. Let's use this here. So if I just go to the channel, yeah, it is showing me particularly all the YouTube videos. You can actually use different kind of searching, what do you call this, optimizations here. Okay. So currently these are not the exact thing that I want to be searching, but yeah. But these all things can be done. Now understand the next part. This is q equals to http plus full plus form. What this is, this plus is a or operator. Okay. So either search for
Boolean
http
or
or boolean or, yeah. It is basically going to parse each and every word into different words, and it will do a best overlap. Okay. And the best overlap, it then
এটা
ranks.
বুঝলাম না কি বেস্ট ওভারল্যাপ মানে
Acha, overlap means suppose in the Venn diagram, okay, there are lot of pages which mentions HTTP. Then there are a lot of pages which
ভেন
mention full.
ডায়াগ্রামটা কি জিনিস
Arey bhai, set theory Venn diagram. Haven't you done that? You are in 11, 12
ওটাকে
Venn
ভেন
diagram.
ডায়াগ্রাম বলে ও আচ্ছা ওটাকে ভেন ডায়াগ্রাম আমরা ভুলে গেছি হ্যাঁ সেট থিওরি জানি
Okay, so
ওকে
suppose I go to here. Let's take some example, like whatever example we want to take.
আরে
Like
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
this.
এটাই তো ভেন আর ভুলে গেছি নাম ভুলে গেছি ভেন ডায়াগ্রাম এই
So
তো
whatever.
এই পিকচারে মাঝখানে ইন্টারসেকশনের পয়েন্টটাও মনে আছে
Yes,
এক্সাক্ট
so
ফর্মুলা
that,
একটা আছে
so
এখনো মনে আছে
so understand that these are Venn diagrams representing different terms in your query. Okay.
হ্যাঁ
And
হ্যাঁ
it is
ওকে
optimizing for those terms. It is optimizing for those terms.
আচ্ছা
Okay.
ওকে
Now
ওকে
this get request and the post request. So if I just refresh it one more time. So these are the get request. Okay. I'm asking for this basically from google.com, from accounts.google, encrypt.google. I'm asking for different items, or let's say objects from this. Okay. And basically there are different
গুগল
status.
রিটার্নস মেথড পোস্ট বাই পোস্ট মেথড
By post method it will return. Now understand that I'm not only asking for HTML, I'm also asking for CSS. I'm asking for the JavaScript. Okay. Then there are different fonts that I'm asking. There are images that I'm asking. So if you go to these images and click on any of those images, okay, and you can actually just download this, okay, and whatever you want to do, you can now, if you understand that how everything is working, then on a internet, if you go and like basically use curl and get the HTML file, then you can parse the HTML file and go to specific images or do whatever you want. Okay, you can go to search for the different medias here. Okay, I need to deactivate all this. Kindly, we don't have that many media.
এখানে ভেন ডায়াগ্রাম কেন কাজে লাগছে
Venn diagram I just showed you because how it works. So whatever I'm searching, see if I go to all and let it refresh. Okay. Okay, this is a encrypted now. I don't want to see the encrypted one. Okay, this is giving me the encrypted one. Just a second. Just give me a second. Suddenly, I don't know why it is giving the encrypted one. So if I just suppose search for Venn diagram. Okay, now the search query has been here. Client is GWS. Okay. So
it is a
here.
person's name ভেন oh nice
Yeah, it is named after that. This is probably a encrypted. Yeah, this is ESP. This kind of key or kind of hash map is given. Okay, I don't know if it's a key or a hash map. I don't exactly know how this Google actually parses and creates this encryption, because if I had known, I would be I would be doing engineering at this point, but whatever. See, this Venn diagram, this is the search query, and this is a client that I'm using. So I'm just going to remove this client as well, and still this will work. Okay,
No, you are
still
using client equal to Firefox, and why it is saying client equal to GWS, something like that.
need to there check it. I don't exactly know when it switches. It switches a lot of things. As soon as like we are searching, now Google is dynamic, so it will choose the best for the user, and it changes and ranking and all this thing. I don't know. A lot of things change. Google Workspace to indicate a client application, often a service account being granted permission to access Google. Okay, it's using the Google Workspace client. So it changed. Right now it is using the
ঠিক
Firefox.
আছে,
Okay, so
ঠিক আছে।
yeah, this is a lot like
আচ্ছা, এটা আমাকে একটা জিনিস বলো,
yeah.
আমাকে একটা জিনিস বলো, এই পুরো পার্টটাই কি ডিবিএমএস? এটা ডেটা সায়েন্টিস্ট এগুলোই কি করে?
Let's say yes. This is more into the domain of search engine and all this. Okay, not what data scientists do, but yeah, it is a part of
No,
data science.
like when we are searching, it's filtering out our results. So it is doing different type of operations in filtering our data and give us the most suitable data we have. So like
Yes,
it is a DBMS. Google is a DBMS.
it is actually a huge database. True, it is a huge database of ranked search items. That's why Google's indexing method. What it okay? There is something called page ranker. Page ranker. Okay, go to the.
Hey, check
This is
your
the.
website page rank. You
This
have
is
your own
the
website, right?
Yeah, I will check it later. So see, this is a page rank algorithm. Okay, this is what Google used to use till 2016 or something. Okay, I forgot, but basically this is how they made their
Oh,
page ranking algorithm.
Figma
Okay,
চলে এসছে, matrix এ চলে এসছে।
of course, it will come up, and this is a simplified version in Python. Okay, so yeah, if you want to read up, you can read up how page ranking works. But currently, we are deviating too much into how search engines work instead of understanding networking.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. Now
Okay.
this understand this application layer. Okay, this application layer, this transport layer, this internet layer, and then this the network access layer. There are four layers in TCP/IP for this IP4 this IP version 4 like sorry IP version 4 नहीं बोल रहा हूँ. This is a four layer model. This TCP/IP is a four layer model, which means that you have to condense the 7 layer model into a 4 layer model. So what happens that these last 3 layers, application layer, presentation layer, and session layer, gets condensed to something called the application layer. So how questions in your board exams will come is like the application layer in TCP/IP4 for in the TCP/IP 4 layer model. What does it correspond to in OSI model? Okay, or vice versa. Like the presentation
কটা
layer,
মডেল পড়তে হবে গো?
only 2 models. This is a very simplified diagram. See, you just need to remember like how these things are actually like
এক
condensed
মিনিট,
into.
তোমার এই কোডটাকে সরাতে পারবে? দেখি কোডটাকে ছোট ছোট সরাতে পারবে?
Yeah, sure.
এক মিনিট আমাকে একটা জিনিস বলো,
Just a
এই হোয়াট
second.
ইজ দিস এসএসএল? হোয়াট ইজ দিস এসএসএল?
This is just a format. This is a media format. JPEG is a media format. MPEG is a media format. Okay, just give me a second.
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, got it, ঠিক আছে। এটা ডার্ক মোডে করতে হবে? সুবিধা হচ্ছে
অসুবিধা হচ্ছে? Give me a second.
ডার্ক মোডে, চোখে বহুত লাগছে।
कर रहा हूँ. Like I
আগে
don't.
তো ভালোই ছিল।
हाँ dark mode कर रहा हूँ. Give me a second. I don't exactly find the dark mode button.
ওকে, চলো, leave it. Tell me one thing, this একটা জিনিস বলো,
Hmm.
অ্যাপ্লিকেশন লেয়ারের নিচে এটা লেখা কেন যে ইনক্লুড ওএস i56?
Oh, this is just an example. No, this application layer. See the arrow. It goes here. Application layer works with HTTP, FTP,
না না
DNS,
না,
and all
ওই
this.
অ্যাপ্লিকেশন লেয়ার না, আমি অ্যাপ্লিকেশন লেয়ারের পরে যে সেকেন্ড অ্যারোটা আছে।
এটা না আচ্ছা second arrow এইটা. The second
সেকেন্ড
arrow is
অ্যারো দেখো
going
যাচ্ছে,
here. Here
ইয়া
application
ইয়া
layer. The presentation layer is
আমি ওটা
going
কথাই
here,
বলছি।
and session layer is going here. Basically, it says that these three layers of the OSI model are condensed into
Are getting
one layer,
condensed.
yeah, into a single layer called application layer in the TCP/IP model. Okay, that's
Okay,
what I'm
okay.
saying. Oh, it's going to open the docs. Just a second. How do I close this? Hmm.
কিন্তু প্রথমে তো ডার্ক মোডই তো
Access.
ছিল, ওটা পুরো সাদা হয়ে গেছে।
Acha, dark mode is here.
হ্যাঁ,
Okay,
বাস ঠিক
but
আছে।
sometimes it doesn't render it properly. Give me a second. I
এ
think I
বাবা,
can.
এই যে পড়াই যাচ্ছে না।
Give me a second. Give me a second. I just added the shading and actually this one. Yeah, this one. I have
হ্যাঁ,
to. I
ভালো
think
হয়েছে।
I. I have to remove the shading at this point. Give me a second.
এই ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজটা শিখতে হবে দেখছি, ভালো লাগছে।
Hmm. Okay, I have to remove the shading. Otherwise, whatever shading color. So now, see, all this layer are condensed into one. Next, in the presentation layer, it basically takes the JPEG or MPEG and all these things. Okay, and finally, what we have as the session layer, it comprises, or let's say, examples are here, which are basically your net BIOS and your RPC. So, what does it mean? I know you are going to ask that. So, like, you have your you have seen your own BIOS, right? You have gone through this tinkering with your computers. You have seen the BIOS. For Dutika, have you seen your laptop BIOS?
No.
No, right? Okay, because yours installation of the Arch system and the Linux system, I did it, so you haven't seen it. So you will see
স্যার আমাকেও
BIOS.
দেখতে হতো না, কিন্তু আমার ডেস্কটপ হচ্ছে এক নম্বরে বেকার জিনিস, একটা সবাই তো একটা করে এরার দিয়ে দেয়।
Okay. See, if you go like when you boot up your computer, the BIOS is basically what handles all your, like, let's say, uh, operating system loading, and that is your bootloader would be. But BIOS basically you can tinker what particular signals should go first. Means like you can assign what should be the boot order. Like you are booting from your internal SSD, or you're booting from your hard disk, or you're booting from your pen drive. You can not only control that, you can control how much voltage you are going to pass to your CPU, how much voltage you are going to be passing
তো
to your
এটা করা
RAM.
যায় নাকি?
Yes, you can do it. Depends
ও,
on the
আমি কি ভোল্টেজ ডিসাইড করবো? এবার ধরো আমি একটা ভোল্টেজ ডিসাইড করলাম, ওর ফিউজই উড়ে গেল, এটা কোনো কথা না। ও তো
Yes,
মানে
it will
এত
happen.
সবার।
It can happen. It can happen. This is called overclocking. When you give more the amount of voltage than your CPU or your GPU can take, you are trying to overclock. So more the voltage, more will be the performance, but more heat will be generated. So if you give it some high amount of voltage which it can't take, then basically it will stop working right then and there. Then basically it has various fallback
So there is no
mechanisms.
step down transfer. There is no step down transformer in CPU.
Yes, of course, there are step down. So there are multiple transformers. If you open up your computer na, and in your hardware, like I can show you which part is a transformer, which one will be a capacitor, which will what. But you need to understand how a motherboard looks and everything. But whatever. So there are transformers, and they try to prevent this kind, like the CPU from total
Step down
crashing.
transformers.
Yeah, it can prevent your CPU from total crashing or totally going into like short circuit and everything. Okay, but suppose it can't prevent, then of course your CPU is totally grilled. Okay, you can't do anything. But
So
what is
BIOS is a
now?
medium by which we can choose the different types of boots.
No, you can basically do anything. You control different input output voltages. You control the order of the input output devices and everything. Okay. So understand what is a net BIOS. Net BIOS is a network basic input output system. Means in a network how networking devices will basically behave. Okay. It enables applications on different computers to communicate with each other across a local area network or a LAN. Okay. So yeah, there are different examples, but it basically maintains all the ordering of your network input output, not the voltage. Okay, it's not about the voltage. It's more about how each and every device will communicate in a network. Okay, get it?
Yeah,
Chavega?
चलेगा.
Okay. Just a second. Yeah. Now, what is RCP? RCP is morely, let me add RCP networks. So, what is happening? I don't know. So,
So
this is
you
a
can turn
remote.
on your video and do the class.
I
Like
can.
everybody can see you in YouTube. You can turn on your video and do the class.
I still haven't done that. So,
Like
it will.
like everyone will be interested.
How will everyone be
Do it.
interested? But
Do it on your video.
no. Currently,
Switch
I'm
it
in
on.
a.
Over.
No, no, it's
Acha,
fine.
acha. Yeah.
I don't have a good camera. Okay, maybe I can use my phone camera. I have to do the configuration and all this, but not going to do that now. See, what is this? RCP.
Okay.
RCP is a remote procedural call. Means how everything like on the network, okay, there are different items that needs to understand that okay, I'm going to send the message to here, then there, then there. So this kind of procedure, or let's say from one to another, this thing is done like by this RPC, okay, and they help in understanding the sequence of nodes in a network. Okay, what so
That's
now if I go back here, then there is this session layer done. Then after this, we have the transport layer. Okay, the transport layer is in itself the transport layer, so you don't need to worry about it much. And after basically an example will be TCP or UDP. Okay, TCP basically means your transmission control protocol, and UDP means uniform datagram protocol. If I remember, I always forgot the UDP. UDP full form. User datagram protocol. Okay, it's what user datagram protocol. So datagram basically means you can think about this like a graph. Okay, it's basically a okay. Let's see a good example of it. Just a second. Let's see. Hmm. Okay, there are differences between UDP and TCP. This thing. Just a second. We shall be going into this, but I need good. Okay, this is a good one. Let's use this. Okay, so this is the UDP, the checksum computation process. Okay, how the UDP actually works and how the datagram gets created. Okay, so first the message what the sender wants to send is getting encoded into the binary. Then the bits are divided into like basically 2 bytes each in this particular checksum. Okay, okay, what is a checksum? Checksum basically means a signature. Okay, it's more like a hash. And what is a hash again? Uh, Understand, hash is like a signature. Like we want every signature to be unique, right? In the world, I know that there are people who can copy signatures and all this. That kind of thing will lead to different concepts in computation called hash collisions and all this. But for now, in a simplistic world, we consider that everyone's signature is unique, and that thing is called a hash, okay, or a checksum, okay, and that needs to be calculated. There are different ways of calculating it, and those they are done, and then all the binary numbers are added together. Then the datagram and the checksums are sent to the recipient, okay, and from the recipient, the like this is a sender and the recipient might be a server, okay, and then it calculates the checksum and following the same process, and then it checks that okay, do this thing match? If they match, then I think that okay, you are a valid server, no, so what, the valid user on this network, and you can receive, or let's say you can get the information that I'm going to send you. That kind of thing is going on in this protocol. It's also a protocol. Protocol basically means, let's say, that the language, the common language that
তাহলে
the
আমাকে এই
network.
টিসিআই আমাকে এটা কিন্তু এই টিসিআই ফর ফর এক মিনিট বাদিকে সরো। হ্যাঁ, টিসিপি আইপি4 লেয়ার মডেল এটার ফাংশনটা কি? লাইক ওএসআই
This
তো
is
7টা লেয়ার আছে।
yes. This is
ওএসআই
okay.
হ্যাঁ
These are conceptual models. These are like models that people should follow while building a network. Okay,
না না দেখো, ওএসআই 7 মডেল তো ওকে, ট্রান্সপোর্ট ফর নেটওয়ার্ক ঠিক আছে। টিসিপি/আই 4 টা আবার কি লেয়ার, মানে ইজ ইট আ ডিফারেন্ট মডেল?
it is another model. Yes.
So what does people follow, OSI for 7 model or TCP for layer 4 layer model?
Uh, okay. Remember, these are abstractions that should be followed. It doesn't mean they are
আচ্ছা, এটা কি মানে
always
ধরো
exactly.
মানে
Yeah.
এক একটা অ্যাটমের থিওরি মডেলের মতো, প্লাম
No, no,
পুডিং
no,
মডেল
not like.
ওরকম মডেল বলছো?
No, 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 no. These are models made by people. Means that these models should be followed when you are building something. Suppose you have a how you want to build a house. So will you start from the roof?
হ্যাঁ, ধরো এমন একটা মডেল আছে ওখানে বলছে রুট থেকে চালু করতে।
Maybe let's say something like that exists. But as an architect, you should understand that you need to make the base. Okay, you need to first dig the trench
So
and the
what now?
holes.
My question is, what model does usually we use while building a computer network or something like that?
First, the thing is that is everyone using the OSI model? Is the internet using OSI model? Is the
No, OSI
internet
7 model, be specific. 7 layers, sorry.
OSI model?
No.
Yes, that's the point. It will not use it's a primary protocol. Primarily uses the TCP/IP model, which is a simple four-layer model. Is often used for
Then
understanding
why are you
troubleshooting.
teaching us? Then why are you teaching us this complicated system? Just teach TCP system.
Because the thing is that
It is
OSI
in our
model is
syllabus.
no the OSI model is more detailed in the sense it helps you understand how networking works at more granular and each stepwise level. Okay. So this is a
Okay.
four-layer one that is generally used, but again, a lot of modifications goes on, and like currently how internet works, it's like a lot of protocols are going on. They are handshaking and everything is working, but then again, there are different paths in the private network. There are different paths in the private network, or let's say in a let's say closed network where only one node of the network gets the internet access, and that node is used for uh, let's say data transmission from the internal network to the outer internet, and that kind of then the internal network might use a totally different abstract model. Okay, but they have a own protocol which converses between their abstract and weird model to the internet's TCP/IP model. Okay, do you understand that? Like, I
Which
might have
model
my
is in our
own.
syllabus?
Suppose I have my own language. Okay, I have some weird language, and with that language I can converse with my friends. But as soon as let's say the professor comes in, we need to
Yeah,
convert
the dark
our weird
languages we
language.
had.
Yes, we need to convert our language to a very more polite language. Okay, that kind of things
And
happen
formal
in
one also.
internet. Yeah, formal one, and that kind of things happen in the internet. That is what these layers are. These are just building
No, so
layers
which,
for
so which,
engineers
so
take to
which one?
listen.
Acha,
Uh,
acha.
These are layers or models which are given to engineers who are building the network as a reference to use. Okay, and because the internet is currently using the TCP/IP four-layer model, they are kind of like they need to use this as a protocol as a base system. Okay,
So which is in our syllabus?
both of them are in your syllabus. Okay,
কোনো মানে আছে?
no, like it is what it is. Like if you don't understand
এই
all of
চ্যাপ্টারটা স্যার
this,
চাপ দেবে, এই চ্যাপ্টারে
huh?
চাপ আছে, পুরো ফুল চাপে, এত মুখস্থ করতে হবে চ্যাপ্টারটা।
See this whole diagram I have made it for simplifying it. Okay, if you just remember this, it will be breeze for you. Now next, what do we
আচ্ছা,
have?
একটা জিনিস বলো, টিসিপি আইকনের পরে নিচে এই যে নেটওয়ার্ক অ্যাক্সেস লেয়ার, এর নিচে একটা করে ইনক্লুড এক্সাম্পল, তুমি ওএসআই 4 করে কেন লিখছ?
Because basically this
ইনক্লুড ওএসআই 4।
fourth layer of this model is here. This is basically it says that remember that the transport layer equates to OSI's fourth layer. Okay,
ও,
so
ওকে ওকে ওকে, গট ইট গট ইট, ওকে ওকে
then this application layer equates to OSI's 5, 6 and 7 layer. Okay,
ওকে ওকে
together.
ওকে,
I
হ্যাঁ,
made it so that you can
গট ইট গট
understand
ইট।
all of this. Next, what do we have?
ইয়া ইয়া,
We
থ্যাঙ্কস।
have the internet layer, which is same. Okay, it's basically the same as the network layer
হ্যাঁ,
from the OSI model. So in the network layer of the OSI model, we have examples like the Internet Protocol and ICMP. Now, okay, all the things that you are seeing, all the abbreviations that you are seeing, you do need to remember the full form of those abbreviations. Okay, because in
ওকে,
your
কি মনে
questions,
রাখবো
or
বলো।
this is Internet Control Message Protocol. Okay. To communicate
ওকে,
about network issues like timeouts or error message. It is used for, okay, this is a very important point, because the questions in your MCQs might come like this: which particular protocol is used to transfer information about errors and, let's say, communication errors, or let's say timeout errors. Okay, fine.
টাইম আউট এরর্স মানে কি গো? হোয়াট ডু
Suppose,
মিন বাই টাইম আউট এরর্স?
okay, currently, how can I say? Can I can show you one example. Give me a second. You have to give me a second
Yeah,
here.
open your code of thermodynamics. We have many codes. Yeah.
Okay.
হাইড্রোজেন মডেলটাই দেখি, হাইড্রোজেন তোমার মডেলটা দেখবো আমি আবার। ওই মডেলটা আর দেখতে না।
Are you joking about this, or are you serious?
না না, সিরিয়াস হয়েছে। হাইড্রোজেন মডেলটা, হাইড্রোজেন অ্যাটম যে এত ভালো দেখতে হয়, এটা আমি তোমার এনসিইআরটি তে স্ট্রাকচার আমি জাস্ট করে নিয়েছি যে এই ব্যাপার হয়। আর তুমি সুন্দর করে ডি অরবিটাল এফ অরবিটাল যা দেখিয়েছো সত্যি ভালো। ওই জিনিসটা তুমি সত্যি ভালো বানিয়েছো। মানে আমি যেটা বুঝেছি যেটা ভালো, তুমি আরো অনেক কিছু ভালো বানিয়েছো কিন্তু সেগুলো আমার বোঝার বাইরে।
So as you can see, this is a website that I'm currently developing for a company. Okay. So
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
this is the website. Suppose this thing,
ও,
this whole 3D molecule. Okay.
বেনজিন, বেনজিন
The,
মলিকুল ড্রেনিং হলো।
no, this is cellulose. So suppose there is an issue with this. Okay,
আচ্ছা
this is the this is a website that I made. Currently, there may be a lot of improvements, but yeah. Um, so suppose there is this form never pops out. Okay, within time, then there it will show me a timeout error. Means it was not able to access the information, or it was not able to access the model. Let's say this 3D model needs to be rendered, and it was not able to access it within time. Then all these things needs to be like thrown in an error, like, so that I as a developer can understand where things went wrong. So yeah, that's it.
আচ্ছা।
So
ওকে,
if I'm just going to close the code through it, control
আচ্ছা তুমি এটা কি ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে করছো, এইচটিএমএল আর জাভাস্ক্রিপ্ট?
HTML, CSS, and JavaScript done.
আচ্ছা
Okay. So after that,
আচ্ছা,
let's
আমাকে একটা জিনিস
see.
বলো, তুমি পাইথন শিখিয়েছো, এইচটিএমএল শিখিয়েছো, সি প্লাস প্লাস শিখিয়েছো, সেটা আমি ভুলে গেছি আনফরচুনেটলি। যাই হোক,
Hmm.
তোমাকে একটা জিনিস বলো, তুমি কখনো আমাকে দুটো ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ কম্বাইন করে একটাই করে জিনিস বানাতে হয়, সেটা কোনদিন বলো।
Hmm. Because whatever I taught you previously or even now, these are totally based on your syllabus. Okay. And we haven't gone into deeper integration of different languages. They require you to do practical project work where you know different languages. Okay. And knowing them will basically be like that will not be high school level, but again, a lot of high school people are doing multiple language models and everything. A lot of people are doing it. So I shall try to improve. Okay, I shall try to get you into understanding how different languages can actually correlate together and work together into a final project. Okay, I shall try. Now,
ওকে,
next part we have in the network layer is TCP UDP, then data link layer. Okay, data link layer, understand? Okay, this part, that network layer, and then we have, okay, wait, I think this is the network layer done. Then this, yeah, this is the data link layer and the physical layer. Both of these together form the network access layer. Now, this is a very good question that comes up in your CBSE exam. What they ask is the OSI network layer will correspond to which of the following TCP IP layer, and it will have this network access layer as an option, and most of the people will not relate this arrows. Okay, they won't remember these arrows, and they will say, okay, network and network access sounds similar. Why don't I just, okay, vibes में आ रहा है कि हाँ same है. Network layer must correspond to the
আমার
network
কেস,
access layer.
আমার
Yeah.
কেস
But in
relatable.
reality, it is data link layer and the physical layer together which makes the network access layer. So this diagram will help you in correlating all the layers together. So please,
So will you upload this diagram in Notebook LLM or GitHub?
I say I already have it uploaded here. So it is in your this one. Okay. Oh, I forgot to. Okay, give me a second. Mm, need to give it back pics, and then if you just preview. Okay, this is the layer. This is the all the models. Okay, so yeah, this is visible here. Okay, now how can you
So it
see
is in
this
your
on the
GitHub, right?
GitHub? It is on the GitHub. How can you see this on the GitHub? Let me just git add git commit. Let's say I'm calling this networking class 4 git push. Okay, I posted. You will be checking it later. Now, after this, we are finally to the data link layer, and the data link layer asks us to understand the Ethernet and this peer-to-peer PPP is what peer-to-peer protocol. Yeah, some basically from one peer to another peer, how everything is like the RJ45 cable and or your Wi-Fi. Okay, in your Wi-Fi, how one particular, let's say, peer, or not even Wi-Fi, it is more at the like in your laptop. Okay, one peer is connected to another peer, like your network card is connected to your CPU, and how this network card can actually this network card interface can connect, or let's say how it can take all the information from the network, send it to the CPU, and then after that basically the CPU, or let's say your cables or your Wi-Fi or your network card radio, will basically interact with the CPU and help in extracting out the information, help in displaying the information, and all this. All the processing is done in the last physical layer. Okay, and this is how the whole like 7-layer model and the 4-layer model are made. Now, if you guys want to like check out this kind of diagrams in your, let's say, in the repository, you go to the repository here. uh, I should just rename it to class, like not Python course. It is having DBMS and all these things. I shall rename it later. You go to networking, and let's say you want to see the model here. So just see this. You can just expand it out like this. Okay, then you can zoom it. Okay, all this you can do. Okay, but you don't like this kind of preview. Then you just go take the code. This is the program. Okay, just copy it and then just go to this website named Mermaid Live. Okay, mermaid.live. And in that website, you just paste it here. And this gives you a more controllable. This is like you don't need to sign in or anything. You just like basically use it to preview the model and everything. Okay, fine.
Fine.
Chalega?
Sure.
Okay, good. Good.
Go ahead.
Now, then we are done with this OSI model. After this, we need
স্যার
to
আনসাই বলো
understand more.
এটা চাপের আছে বস
Okay, okay, Dutika, you were silent for quite a long time. Are you having any issues with all this?
No, it's fine.
It's fine, right? Okay. Now, after all this, we want to discuss more. The OSI model and TCP model is done and
আচ্ছা আমাকে একটা জিনিস বলো ট্রান্সপোর্ট লেয়ার সব করার ইচ্ছে ইন্ডিভিজুয়ালি ডেফিনেশন চাই কি লিখবো
Yep, what?
like if the CBSE asks what is transport layer explain like কি লিখবো
Yeah, so you need to explain the functions that each and every layer is doing. We went through all the discussion right now, right? So suppose
আরে
you
ঠিক
want to,
আছে তোমরা গুছিয়ে গুছিয়ে লিখতে তো হয়ে যাবে
yes, you need to write it. He just okay, how to write it? That's
স্যার আমি ইংলিশে পারি
if you
এবার
understand.
বলো
You are bad in English. What?
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ক্লাস 11 থেকে 12 উঠছো ইংলিশে লোয়েস্ট মার্কস পেয়েছি বলেও দিলাম তোমাকে
Don't give that kind of excuse. Okay, if you understand the
আরে
concept,
সত্যি
then you can.
বলছি
If you understand the concept, then of course you can write it. Okay.
ওকে, ঠিক আছে,
There is no
ঠিক
going
আছে।
back and forth
না
over
না
this.
না, লাইক তুমি কিছু নোটস ফোটস মানে পিডিএফ দাও না, তাই বললাম আর কি। ওই
Yeah,
অনলাইন থেকে জোগাড় করে
yeah, all the notes
থিওরি
about
পার্টটা।
about OSI model are given to you. Go to Notebook LLM. I've shared the notes. Acha, Dyutika, can you access the Notebook LLM? I shared it with you as well.
এই নোটবুক এলএমএস বাজে, আমি ওকে দিয়েছি কাজ, ও বলছে মাইন্ড ম্যাপই করতে পারবে না, কি বাজে জিনিস এটা তো। ওকে
See,
আমি আমার প্রজেক্ট বানাতে বলেছিলাম, ও বলছে ফেল।
see here, then you need to give it better resources. Sorry.
ও আচ্ছা, তাই বলো।
Okay, now if I show you, like let's say OSI model, you want to particularly understand this one.
স্যার
Just
ও
click on
বেরিয়ে
it.
গেছে,
Hmm? Oh, okay,
ও বেরিয়ে
fine.
গেছে।
Something might have happened. So here you can see that it has written out everything that you want to know.
আরে আচ্ছা,
Okay, I've already
ঠিক
shared
আছে।
all the notes with you, so you don't need to
না,
worry.
আমাকে একটা জিনিস বলো, এই নোটবুক এলএমটাকে মানে ও আমাকে আমার প্রজেক্ট বানিয়ে পুরো দিতে পারে, মানে ফুল পিডিএফ পিপিটি ফর্মে?
No, that for that use another chat GPT or anything else. Okay, that is
আচ্ছা
different.
আচ্ছা, ওকে
Okay,
ওকে।
Dyutika, just check that. Suppose, like Niket was asking, he wants to get the writing of any particular model. Okay, then basically go
ও
here to
বেরিয়ে গেছে,
whatever.
বেরিয়ে গেছে, আবার বেরিয়ে গেছে,
Okay,
এসছিল
আর
আবার বেরিয়ে গেছে।
নেটওয়ার্ক মনে হচ্ছে ফ্লাকচুয়েট করছে।
হুম
Okay,
হুম।
so we started at 8:30. We still have around 30 minutes to go. We need to discuss one more thing, packet
দাঁড়াও,
switching
এখনো
and all
ঢোকেনি,
this.
ঢোকেনি এখনো, এই ঢুকে গেছে।
Okay, your network is giving you issues, right? I think. Oh,
বেরিয়ে
again.
গেছে, আবার বেরিয়ে গেছে, বেরিয়ে
Okay,
গেছে।
network issues.
তাহলে
Okay,
থাকে কোথায়? কলকাতাতে?
হ্যাঁ বল।
ও থাকে কলকাতাতে?
I don't know. Okay, we are in the
কোন
we are live. Remember
কোন
that.
স্কুলে পড়ে?
Okay, we are
ও
live.
আচ্ছা
Okay,
আচ্ছা। ও সরি, আরে
okay. Now the thing is
তুমি
that
ইউটিউব লাইভ করেছো? আচ্ছা, পরে কথা হচ্ছে।
okay. So after this, what should we go?
আরে স্যার, ও
Um,
বেরিয়ে গেছে, তুমি কি পড়াবে?
yeah, I know.
ইউটিউব লাইভটা পজ করো। পজ করা যায় না, অফই করতে হবে।
That is true. We can't pause it in between.
তাহলে আবার পরে লাইভ স্ট্রিম করা যেতেই পারে অবশ্য।
Mhm. Give me a second. Let me text.
ওকে।
Hmm. Hello, Dyutika. Do you like? Are you currently having network issues? Hello, hello.
আছে আছে, মিটিং আছে।
No, no. I think she was trying to say something. Niket, can you mute yourself for a few seconds?
No, I just wanted to say that, yeah, I'm facing network issues.
Okay. Are you fine now?
Yeah.
Network stable? Okay. Network in the networking class, you are facing network issues. Nice.
ও নাইস। স্যার বলছি, তুমি লাইভ স্ট্রিমটা আবার চালু করো নাকি না, করবে
Okay.
না?
No, no. It's currently going on. Live stream is going on. Don't worry. Okay.
ওকে।
So as Niket was asking that, how can suppose he wants to like the question comes, write something about transport layer or internet layer or whatever be it. So in the LLM, the notebook LLM, I've already shared the document, and if you just click on it, then particularly the writing about that layer or everything will be there. Okay, whatever we have discussed has already been mentioned, or everything like the ICMP is there. It is for error reporting and diagnostics, timeout, and everything has been mentioned. So you do not need to worry about like let's say going through the book and reading all the pages of the book. Okay, suppose you forget something, you can always just go to the mind map, and in the mind map just click on whichever topic you want to understand better, or let's say review it. Okay, that's it. That's how simple everything will be working. Acha, Dyutika, are you able to access the notebook element, the particular notebook I said?
Yeah, I already checked it.
Okay. It's working and everything?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now, next part we shall be discussing on is different kind of switching techniques, particularly circuit switching, network switching, packet switching, and all this. Just give me a second. I opened up this one. This is one of the best articles. Okay. I'm sharing these articles to you guys right now. Oh, by the way, I'm going to also say that this like what do you call this page or blog. Okay, this is called Medium, and I kind of like love this article website or what I don't know. This is what blog or what do you call this? A website where it contains a lot of articles. Okay, this contains the best resources to understand a topic at a very good enough knowledgeable level such that after just to reading it you can apply it. Okay,
এটা কি
and
AI নাকি?
no, this is not an AI. This is a like well, the posting website. It publishes different articles. Okay,
Like Quora?
just like Quora but better, way better. Okay, so it goes on to
মানে
explain the
রেডিটের থেকেও বাজে? রেডিটের থেকেও বাজে?
বাজে না ভালো বললাম।
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
See, this is circuit switching. Okay, the legacy of dedicated connections. So basically, how it happens? Suppose in your network you have different nodes. Okay, and you need to understand that in your network you might need to hop around different nodes. And how do we hop around different nodes? I'm going to show it to you. I can use MTR. Okay, MTR, and then I can trace different calls. So as you can see, I'm different using this is my private one. Okay. And then again, this is your intranet IP. Okay. Even if I let's say publicly say it, it won't do anything. Okay. As you can see, this is my intranet and all this. So it is hopping to different IPs. And because I'm in an intranet, not in like the intranet is abstracting away a lot of different hops for me. Okay, like the ISA Kolkata network will abstract away different hops for me. And this kind of hopping abstraction will happen because of my current network provider, which
হপ
is,
মানে কি?
oh, okay, okay. Hop means from one network node to another. Okay. You send a request and that request gets hopped one from one point to another, one point to another, and one point to another.
Just like VPN.
Yeah, just like VPN. But even for your normal network access or when you call Google's, so Google server may be located in Berlin, may be located in, let's say,
Oh,
in
you told that
America.
first request is redirected to Bombay, and then from Bombay it has been redirected. Right,
Yeah,
you
so
told me.
this, yes, this kind of hopping, you can try to trace it. Okay. Currently, I can't trace it because of my network structure. But suppose you are like you are using your own network, you can use it better. Okay. You can just use MTR, then use google.com. Suppose you don't have MTR, then you can install MTR using MTR. If you just wait, yeah, just install the first one and you will be good to go. Okay. Fine. Then you can trace out how different hops are going on. Now, what is the circuit? Circuit basically means it can create a different virtual circuits when you are hopping a network. It will create a like you know that um, like this breadboards. Have you guys seen breadboards? Have you guys seen motherboards? Right?
Motherboard দেখেছি, breadboard না।
Yeah. Okay. Motherboard. Let me show you some pictures of motherboard. Uh, so yeah, this is a good picture. So in your motherboard, as you can see,
Conductors are very nice.
you can see the different like lines are there. These are called circuits, right? So in your network also these lines and connections we can establish. And as we establish these lines and all this kind of networks, what do? We basically have a circuit, a virtual circuit here, right? So particularly, how do we do that? This is a frequency division multiplexing, FDM. It is a technique used in telecommunication and signal processing to combine multiple analog or digital signals into a single into a single transmission medium. Okay, so you may have, let's say, your audio devices. You may have your, let's say, uh, different digital signals would be like your computer. Okay, so you can have analog and digital signals which can transmit to a single line. So currently I'm streaming, right? So my audio signal is a analog signal, and this analog signal along with this video, the video that I'm sharing, this is a digital signal. These two needs to be mashed together into a single transmission medium, and that's how this whole streaming is working. Okay, such as communication channel on a cable, FDL works by allocating a specific range of frequencies or frequency bands to each signal source, and each signal source is modulated onto its respective carrier frequency within its allocated band. Okay, that may be too much jargon. So understand this diagram. There are maybe 4 users, and these 4 users may be using different particular frequencies. So as you can see that they have their respective frequency on a particular network, so that they never gets like crisscrossing. Okay, all these things never happen. Now this is time division multiplexing. Time means you are not dividing based on the frequency, you are basically dividing based on the time. So suppose there are again 4 users, but you are saying that okay, the first user will get the first 10 seconds, the second user will get the second 10 seconds. Means 0 to 10
ফার্স্ট টেন মানে
for the
আমি তো
first.
একটা ওয়েবসাইট যতক্ষণ ইচ্ছে দেখছি ইউজ করতে পারি।
Yeah, you can use it, but doesn't mean suppose as soon as you load a website, suppose I load this website, okay, this website has already been loaded. So that means what? This whole website HTML lives locally on my browser. So I don't need to again connect or send a request to the Medium website, Medium server again, right? So that means what? As soon as I load it, my work is done. There may be another user, but for the other user, suppose I asked for the website first, the second user asked for the website
ও
second.
দ্যাটস ওয়াই যখন কোনো একসাথে একটা ওয়েবসাইটে অনেকগুলো ইউজার সার্চ করে মানে ওয়েবসাইট লোডই হতে থাকে ডিউ টু দ্য টাইম
Yes,
কমপ্লেক্সিটি।
yes, because the website might have implemented this kind of thing. The time division multiplexing. Okay, fine. Dutika, is it fine or is it getting too much complicated? Let me know. Are you having troubles? If you are, let me know. Speak out.
No, it's fine.
Fine. Okay. If it's fine, then we can carry on. Okay. Now then, here are the key components and principle of circuit switching. First you need to make the circuit, right? So the circuit needs to be established. How it established? A call is initiated, a dedicated communication path or a circuit is established between the calling and the receiving parties. And this circuit remains connected for the entire duration of the call, even if no one is speaking or transmitting data. Means if I ask to Google server, see, I'm going to hop from this, like let's say Bombay to somewhere like Middle East, then to Europe, and then finally to America or something like that, then this particular circuit hopping will remain consistent during the call or the entire duration of this particular, let's say, resourcing. Okay. Then the resource reservation. Then the circuit reserves the necessary resources, such as the bandwidth, means the which frequency we are going to call. Okay. And again for the entire duration of the call, ensuring that the communication quality remains constant and predictable. Now we need to set up different calls or pings. Okay. The connection between the two parties is continuous. They can communicate in real time without delay. Okay. This is particularly well suited for voice calls and other real-time applications. Just like right now, I'm not only like broadcasting this to the YouTube, but I'm also broadcasting it to all the people on the Google Meet, right? So this kind of real-time communication is only possible because of this continuous connection that we are having. Next, what do we have? We have the exclusive use. Okay. And in this exclusive use means like this can only be used by two parties involved in the call, and no other communication can use the same circuit. Means whenever we are inside this particular network, let's say I'm pinging to Google, it's not like only I and the Google server can respond and no one can use the Google during that time. This never happens, but this can happen in, let's say, more private networks, or when you are having in your own, like let's say intranet. Okay, you might actually dedicate that kind of resources to someone. Okay. Then after all these are done, you can terminate the call. Okay. Now there are different advantages of like circuit switching. That is the predictable quality, and this is simple and deterministic. But again, this is very inefficient, and again there are no flexibility. Means suppose suddenly there is a network failure on one of the intermediate nodes. Suppose I call one from here. I want to call to Bombay, then call Bombay to Berlin. Okay. Then suppose the Bombay node failed, then the whole call will basically terminate, because then midway through the call or midway through the network, we basically face an issue. That kind of thing is a drawback of the circuit switching because of its static nature. Now, then what should we do? We do a packet switching. Okay. Oh, by the way, remember in your CBSC, these questions will be asked. What is the advantage of packet switching? Sorry, advantage of circuit switching or a disadvantage of packet switching? Which one should be used? Give reason why, something like that. Okay. Now, in the packet switching, basically what happens, the packets are not like basically the packets gets like the data packets gets broken down into different, like the whole data packet gets broken down into different smaller packets, and they are being let's say routed through different nodes in the network. Okay. And they finally meet at the terminal or meet at the server or maybe meet at the, let's say, recipient. And these data packets, yeah, as you can see, let's go through the article. It basically says divided into small and fixed size packets, and they contain a portion of the original data. Okay. As well as the header that includes the essential information like the resource and the destination addresses and the sequence numbers. Now, this sequence number is very
Acha,
crucial.
this data packet concept is like quantum mechanics, like for photons, packets of light. So is that the concept?
No, no, no. Mane, ki bolo, maybe you might have an analog for it, but I won't say that. Basically, see, a good example would be YouTube. You have seen YouTube buffering, right? It may happen that YouTube can load the video till 1 minute and it can load the video after 2 minutes. But that 1 minute to 2 minute part, that data never gets loaded because it got lost. Then the receiver or the client again has to ask the YouTube server, I want to get the data again. Okay. You get it? And in quantum mechanics, in quantum mechanics there is no sequential data packets. Okay, there is no sequence in that. So sadly, this breaks it.
But the packet concept is similar.
Yeah, you can say that energy packets, data packets, but these are vastly different. But okay, fine, chalega, chalega. At the end of the day, these data packets are routing through, basically these are what, electromagnetic waves, and electromagnetic waves are energy packets. Okay, so you can say that data packets are essentially made of energy packets. Okay, so it's fine. Then there is the routing. Okay, basically.
The EMS transmit in which frequency? Like কি বলবো মানে কোন মানে UV
Okay, okay.
radiation or like
Good question. The frequency of the data packets that we are sending is basically based on the network type that you are using. Means if you are using 4G, it will have a particular frequency. If you are using 5G, it will have a particular frequency. And if you are using 3G, it will have
oh like it is below infrared or like above UV
4G. You are using 4G, right?
5G.
Okay, 5G. So 4G is 600 megahertz to 2.5 gigahertz. So then just convert what, 600 megahertz to, let's say, what, to wavelength, right? So to,
Is equal to HCL আমরা use করে নাও না
yeah, you can use that, or I can just search it up. I don't know how good the calculation it will do. Is 0.6 meters. 0.6 meters means it's in the radio wave frequency, I think. Yeah, megahertz to wavelength. Let's go to some unit converter. So it was what? 600 megahertz, right? 600 megahertz. Yeah, so it is around, yeah, 0.5 in meters, 0.5 meter. Okay. So 0.5 meter means let's go to the EM wave spectrum. EM
spectrum
spectrum.
ভুলে গেছি
So if you go to the spectra, then some meters. So meter mean it, yeah, it falls in the radio waves. It will basically fall in the radio waves. So yeah, fine. Done. Oh, by the way, if you see that it is 6.5 gigahertz, so 6.5 gigahertz means 6500 megahertz, right? So it will go into 0.04 uh, wavelength, that is in the 0.04 watt meters, right? So meters means 0.04 meters means how many centimeters? Basically 40 centimeter, 40 centimeter, right? Yeah, so it basically go into, yeah, it will go into the radar TV, this kind of range. Okay, it will go into this
তার মানে
range.
ডিফারেন্ট নেটওয়ার্কস এর জন্য ডিফারেন্ট ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি আর ডিফারেন্ট স্পিড, তার মানে ডিফারেন্ট স্পিড চলে, তার মানে না ডিফারেন্ট ফ্রিকোয়েন্সির জন্য প্রত্যেকটা আলাদা আলাদা ওয়েভলেন্থ চলে আসছে।
Yes, yes. So then routing. So how the routing works? Okay, Dyutika, यहाँ तक ठीक है? कोई problem है? Very able to understand the conversion.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, E equals to hc by lambda. You know it. Okay, fine, good. Okay. Next, routing. So the networks routers basically they help in this packet switching. Okay, they help in understanding. Okay, these packets needs to be gone like the fastest network. Okay, suppose packet one during the when the packet one was going to the network, say from packet one to some, let's say network 134 was the fastest. But as soon as the packet two needs to be sent, 134 is not the fastest. Say 197 is now the fastest, so it will say go to the 197. That kind of routing needs to be handled dynamically. Okay, and again in your network there needs to be a like store and forward mechanism. Okay, meaning as soon as a node receives an entire packet, before making a forwarding decision, they need to like store an entire packet. This allows them to perform error checking, discard corrupted packets, and queue packets for transmission as needed. Okay, means there may happen that a node may decide that okay, this particular packet initial information and final information are not matching with other packets on the network, so this might be corrupted. Then they will send to the, then the packet has a initial address, then it will try to send a request to the initial, like this is disconnecting. Oh wait, OBS again reconnected, some error might have happened. Well, there was a interruption in the stream. Okay, now it has again resumed. Okay, weird. Okay, while I'm saying the store and forward mechanism, I myself am having different kind of network issues. Weird. Okay, it's nice. Now, after this, what we are seeing? We are seeing a shared network resources. Okay, that means in a data like packet switch network, multiple data streams share the same network resources, including the bandwidth, the transmission links, and the sharing of resources enables more efficient use. Yeah. So basically, you are using the same resources, maybe the same server, maybe the pack like nodes on the network, and then this is the dynamic routing. Basically, they employ the dynamic routing algorithms that adapt to changing network conditions. I told you the one node may fail. Suppose the Bombay node failed. Now, then it may have to change to, let's say, Aligarh node. Okay. And that kind of changing needs to be handled dynamically. And then again, there is package loss and retransmission. I just say that how it handles package loss. And there are different advantages. This is highly efficient. This is scalable. This is resilient. Resilient means that if there are corruption or let's say there is some network failure, it will be able to handle that. But it may have different latencies for different packets. So, and there will be a non-sequential delivery of data packets. So what basically YouTube employs this packet switching very efficiently, because currently if you are having buffering or anything, understand that YouTube may have loaded the network packets later, like the other network like the data packets from the later part of the video, but might not have or there may be a fault in the network and might not have received the data packets in between. Okay, and this kind of YouTube is a very good example of packet switching. Now, suppose you want to then understand all of these things in a good diagram. This is a diagram that, yeah. Okay. Don't worry. Like suppose you don't want to go through the article and read all of this. This is circuit switching. It has like advantages, disadvantages, and everything mapped out for you. Okay, and you will see that where is the key differences between the like packet switching and circuit switching. Okay, so this diagram is like
তুমি
I
answer can you share?
yeah I have already said. Check your WhatsApp.
আচ্ছা,
Okay.
হ্যাঁ।
Then we are done with this part. Just a second. Have I gone?
Completing a computer network.
Yeah. So how much I wanted to complete today, I have completed till packet switching and
কটা
everything.
ছিল?
We have to check the syllabus. I don't know. CBSC class. Well,
জানো এবার তুমি লাইভটা অফ করো আবার বলবো।
no. Let's just check it. Yeah. Give me a second.
তোমার
Let's
লাইভ
just
অফ
check.
আছে?
No, it's not off. Give me a second. In the computer networks, I have skipped the history of this AppNet and this part, but we have gone through all this circuit switching, packet switching. We haven't done the transmission media and all this. We shall do it later. And we have gone through different network protocols. Okay, we are going through it in a
হ্যাঁ
different
আমাদের মনে
manner
হয়
than the sorry than
আমাদের মনে
the
হয় এইচটিএমএল
syllabus.
মনে হয় আসবে জানো তো, ওয়েব পেজ ডেভেলপমেন্ট করার মনে হয়।
Yeah.
আছে দেখছি না।
Okay, we shall do HTML then. Don't worry. We shall do a lot of
এইচটিএমএল কি
things.
হয়েছে? এইচটিএমএল
Okay.
জানি আমি, জাস্ট একবার পড়ে নিলে হয়ে যাবে। এত স্যার এইচটিএমএল প্রজেক্টগুলো আমার গিটহাবে আছে। ও কি সুন্দর
Ache.
আগে প্রজেক্ট বানাতাম। এইচটিএমএল এ।
Okay.
আরে তোমার সামনে তোমার সাথে তখন ক্লাস 8 হেভি হেভি বানাতাম।
Yes, I remember. So listen, the next part will basically focus on this thing, domain name system and the content delivery networks. Okay. This part we shall be
এগুলো
doing,
কি হয়ে গেছে?
and then we can do the no, currently we haven't still discovered not discovered, sorry, discussed more on the hardware of networkings, basically routers, repeaters, bridges, switches, and all
সার্কিট
this.
সুইচিং বললে তো?
No, the hardware. We are just doing the like how on the air everything is working, but we still haven't gone to the hardware. So that part is there. We shall be doing it after we complete this domain name and CDN. And yeah, with that, we can continue with the next class. But this is where I'm going to end the stream. So here the